Hi, it's Tanya from My Forking Life, and today we're in the kitchen and we are making delicious brown stew chicken. Now, this is a delicious hearty stew that is popular in Jamaica, and it is something that I grew up eating and I absolutely love it. Now, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, also hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Also, please give me a thumbs up if you like this content. All right, now let me get down to some brown stewed chicken. Now, this is a dish that my parents made pretty much like every other week. Now, the way they made it was a little bit different than traditional measures. They would bake theirs in the oven. And even I now, when I cook it for my family, make it a little bit different than how they made it. So I'm gonna show you how I make it. First thing you're gonna do is you're going to use like a good bit of ingredients. That is going to help give the chicken some flavor. So we're going to actually use a lot of different aromatics as well as some seasonings, and we're going to let the chicken marinate for at least an hour, but I like to let mine marinate overnight. Now you'll see we've got some green pepper, red pepper, a scotch bonnet pepper. This one is actually, it was frozen because I can never find them, but I froze it and defrosted it. If you can't find a scotch bonnet pepper, habanero is also a good choice. So I'm gonna start by chopping my veggies. I'm gonna use a whole yellow onion. And what I like to do is chop all these ingredients ahead of time and add all of the chopped vegetables to a bowl. I said vegetables. Okay. They're watery. I'm over here crying. Green pepper. Green onion. What? Chop it. For the scotch bonnet, most of the time people add it in whole. I'm actually going to cut it because I'm always paranoid if I add the scotch bonnet whole that it's gonna bust and the seeds are gonna get into my dish. So I like to actually remove the seeds before I actually use my scotch bonnet pepper. But if you don't want to, you could always just add a whole scotch bonnet to your stew while it cooks. Ooh, it smells delicious and spice. The pepper hot. Almost done here, guys. Make sure I have some chopped ginger in the mix. Probably should have did that scotch bonnet last. Don't get that on camera. All right, hold on. All right. And we're gonna use about an inch of fresh ginger. So I just chop it off. Take a spoon to peel it. Uh-oh, don't cut yourself now. I wonder if that's even. I'll just cut off those bigger chunks. I don't have time for that. Okay, I'll let you fix that. All right, so I have finished prepping all the vegetables or the onions and the peppers that I need for this recipe, and I am putting them in a large bowl because this is the bowl I'm going to use to marinate and mix everything in. All right, so to that bowl, I'm going to add some chicken thighs. Now, I am using boneless and skinless chicken thighs. That is not what is usually used in traditional recipes. Traditional recipes usually call for chopping up either like an entire chicken and I guess removing the skin off of the chicken. However, I find it's just a much easier to just use chicken thighs or any type of dark meat. Now, I want to stress the importance of using dark meat in this recipe. Dark meats just hold up better in stews because stews, you know, have a little bit of a longer cooking time. So if you want to use breast, you can, but if you want a really delicious, tender chicken pieces in your stew, and if you want it to taste really, really good, use dark meat. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken thighs. I've already got them prepped, and I'm just gonna add that to the bowl with the peppers. And this is about 3 pounds. And then I'm gonna add all of my additional seasonings. Now I'm going to use a little bit of brown sugar in my brown stew chicken. Again, you don't want to, you don't have to. I like the sweetness that it complements the other spices that are in here. I'm gonna use garlic powder as well, onion powder. Even though we're using fresh garlic and onion, we also want to use the powders. It's just gonna give it even more flavor. This is some browning. So browning is what you will find in a lot of Jamaican recipes, which will give it a nice, dark, rich color. Got here some kosher salt. And I've also got some paprika, allspice, black pepper. And I'm going to add all of this to this bowl and give it a mix. Oh, and we're going to add fresh thyme. Now, you could also use dry thyme. I actually almost forgot this, and I would have been mad if I would have made this stew and it didn't have, thyme in it, man. Thyme is it's just always on time. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I mix that in as well. Ooh, this smells amazing and looks amazing already. Well, it's not cooked yet, but you can tell like this is a legit marinade, man. All right, so I'm gonna cover this, and like I said, I'm gonna let this marinate overnight before I cook it. If you don't have overnight, at least give it an hour. You just want those flavors to develop. All right, I'll be back. So this brown stew chicken has been marinating overnight. And what we're gonna do at this point, you can see, we're gonna oh, it smells so good. Oh, those spices, it's gonna hit you. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the best that I can to try to remove some of these bigger marinating ingredients like the peppers and the onions from each piece of chicken. And I'm gonna set that aside. So just gonna kind of like rub it off. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I do want to brown the chicken, and I don't want the peppers to get, burnt while I am browning it. So I am going to separate them the best I can. All right, so I removed my chicken pieces from my peppers. We are going to cook both of these, but we're going to cook them separately. All right, let's get cooking after I wash my hands. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on my stove and put my pot over medium heat. And you can see I've used a large skillet, gives me more surface area when I am browning my ingredients. So I'm adding about 1/4 cup of oil to my skillet. Some olive oil today. And I'm just gonna brown these chicken pieces for about 1 to 2 minutes just to give them a little bit of color. Make sure you keep that heat on medium. We do not want these to burn or anything, because if they do, your stew will be a little bit bitter. It's about half of it. So I'm gonna remove my chicken pieces. Again, these chicken pieces are not fully cooked at this point. They are just lightly browned because I wanted that brown fond in the pot. And now I'm gonna add those leftover vegetables along with the seasoning. And I'm gonna give that a little bit of a saute. I'm gonna switch to a wooden spoon so I can kind of get those brown bits up. Now, if you notice that you got a lot of sticky pieces, get a little bit of water or broth, kind of just pour it in there. That was hot. I'm actually gonna use a little bit of chicken broth, and that's gonna help me get some of those stuck on brown bits in the bottom. And I'm gonna saute these vegetables just a little bit before I add my chicken pieces back in. Good. All right, so my peppers and onions have simmered long enough, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken back to the pot. Just add in the slices in whole. And at this point, I'm gonna add in about a cup of chicken broth. Just pour that over. A little bit of water. And some ketchup. It's gonna give you that tomato flavor. Kind of just mix that in. Oh no, I didn't mix that. All right. All right, so now that our liquid has come to a simmer, I am going to cook this. I'm going to cover it and cook it and allow it to simmer for about 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to check on it about halfway through just to see how everything is going. All right, I'll be back. So it's been about 30 minutes. As you can see, this is what our stew looks like. Ooh, that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna actually let this continue to cook. This is why I like to use thighs, because they can handle the long cook time. But I'm gonna let some of that gravy reduce a little bit. That's gonna also help still build up the flavor. So I'm gonna let it reduce, cook uncovered for about 10 minutes. All right, guys, so it has been about 10 minutes. And as you can see, our liquid has reduced a lot. Oh, it smells so good. Our flavors have developed and our chicken is done. It is break apart. It is tender. Woo! Yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my stove. Ooh. Now for this recipe, you would basically want to serve this over, growing up, we used to eat it over rice, usually rice and peas. It could be white rice. Serve it with a salad, some cabbage, whatever you like. But this is brown stew chicken. Now to taste it, the plate's hot, man. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Get some gravy, a nice piece of chicken. It's good. All right, guys, that's it. That's how I make brown stew chicken. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye.